The band has already reached number 2 on the Australian charts, and Boy and Bear play tonight at the Red Palace in D.C. Welcome to the WTMD Studios, Boy and Bear. Well, you can say hello.
Hey, thanks.
So you guys all came together from a bunch of different projects. I think you were heading up Dave, you were heading up a solo project at the time, and the band came from that. Is the Australian music community always so cooperative?
Probably not, to be honest. I think we got fairly lucky with the way things played out with us, but I don't know. Maybe generally speaking, we look out for one another, I think. Bands do, at least.
Do people interchange in bands as they go on? Are there certain friendships and things like that?
There definitely is. I just think it's to a lesser extent to what you see over here in the States. Like I think the industry is just by nature, it's so much bigger and there's so many more people playing and it's more sustainable.
Not in Australia.
In the States. So that's what I said. But so that's why I definitely, I think it's not to the same extent.
So Moonfire was recorded in Nashville and with Joe Ciccarelli, who many people here in the States recognize from My Morning Jacket. How did Joe come into the project, and why did you record in the United States rather than Australia?
Joe came into the project through, essentially we had a bunch of producers we were talking to, and we got on the phone to Joe a couple of months out, or probably 6 months out from doing the record, and we really liked his vibe. And I think because there are a lot of bands at the moment doing this indie folk thing, it was important that we tried to do something a little bit different. We didn't just want to do a kind of a big low-end organic sound. We wanted someone to help us sculpt some sort of sonic landscape. And, from the records we heard that Joe had done, he definitely had, that had that sonic, really interesting contemporary kind of approach to it. So I don't know, we liked that and hence got him on board.
That's great. So were you worried that creating your first full length in Nashville rather than Australia was going to change the sound? I mean, it's an awful long way from home. There must have been even though you've traveled a lot, there still must have been a bit of emotionalism about being away.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you got the 5 same guys. You're just in a room like you are back at home. You're playing the songs you've written. I don't know. I guess that didn't even really come into our thinking. Just went in and recorded.
Yeah, I was going to say I think maybe the advantage was that we were away from home, so it was completely. We were in Nashville to make a record, not to sort of hang out with people. So it was easy to sort of stay focused rather than like at home. Maybe there's a temptation to kind of have weekends off or whatever, but here we kind of stayed pretty focused. Did
you stay in the studio the whole time, or was it one of those we're locked in here till it's all over, kind of thing?
It did seem
to
endless,
a certain extent.
6 weeks of 11 hours a day, yeah. So one day off a week, but yeah.
Now I understand you all have a coffee addiction. I think I read somewhere that
I've broken free. I've broken free.
Did Nashville have good? You've broken free?
I have.
Good for you. Good for you. It'll serve you well later in life.
Yeah.
Were there any good coffee shops that you found, or they busted in?
There was one.
It was called Crema. It took a while. Actually, John, you found it, didn't you, on the internet? Maybe we always look up on Google where the best internet in every city is. The best coffee on the internet. Where the best coffee is in every city before we go there, so you can have a few recommendations and then go try them all out. And this place called Crema just did a good brew.
It was really good.
Good. We'll turn you on to some Zeeks here in Baltimore. That's our citywide brew.
All right.
So Boy and Bear is Dave Hosking, Killian Gavin, Tim Hart, Jake Tarasenko, and John Hart. Now you guys are brothers, right?
We are. Yes. Yeah. But Killian and I commonly get mistaken for brothers.
And Tim likes us to say, yeah, we are. And John's standing next to us, and we're like, but he's definitely not, but nobody knows.
Great. What are we going to hear for the first one today?
Let's do Feeding Line.
Okay, great.
Cool.
Boy and Bear on WTMD. So the next song I think we're going to do is Part-Time Believer. Mm-hmm. And the refrain of the song talks about a young man waiting for his father to come home from work. And I'm... It seems very much like a very hipster Hallmark moment to me in the refrain. I'm sort of wondering what's your relationships with your fathers like?
Well, actually,
that's a deep question.
It is.
It's public radio.
Yeah, that's great. I can say personally for John and I, our parents are so supportive of what we do, and my dad especially has always said, go and follow your dreams, like go and do it. If you want to do music, go and make it happen. And they've been so supportive and they love it. They cut out all the paper clippings and they've got a little coffee table book they show everyone of Boy and Bear clippings and Boy and Bear press, and they're really into it. And Dad's just found out how to use Skype, so he's always trying to Skype. So I mean, I feel really fortunate personally. John and I do quite well with our father.
I think like parents are one of those funny things because they're so supportive and so loving, and I think all of us have because we all know each other's parents. We're pretty stoked, I think, with the parents that we've been given, and it's sort of parents be parents. They want you to go and do uni and do your degree. So for me, it was always like you got to get a degree. But then once you get in this band, and I guess it does something more than your average Joe, like playing to 3 people. Like I've been there every night playing to 3 people, and once this band sort of started going somewhere, just the enthusiasm and the support they give is just it's just multiplied. It's really cool.
Great. And you've heard about us, but you haven't heard about the guy that wrote
I was
the song.
I was going to say, now we've heard from the folks with good parental relationships, and now this side of the room.
No, my dad's wicked. Yeah, he's cool. Yeah. I did the lyrics to that song, so I don't know. I'm really close to my dad and we're good mates, and somehow he managed to make his way into one of our songs, which he now calls his song.
He loves it.
Yeah, he loves it.
Yeah, he claims it.
That's great. Ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
Part-time believer, Boy and Bear on WTMD.